Hollywood's brightest stars go dark off-screen. Fame is the world's most powerful costume. It reshapes how people see you, how they approach you, and more dangerously, how you begin to see yourself. We build celebrities into icons, project our hopes onto them, and then feel genuinely betrayed when the human underneath doesn't match the image on screen. What follows are the stories behind some of Hollywood's most recognizable names, the moments and patterns that complicated the carefully crafted public image. These are not takedowns. They are reminders that celebrity is a performance, and the curtain, eventually, always comes down. Tom Cruise, the man who controls everything. On screen, Tom Cruise is the last action hero standing. He runs faster, climbs higher, and refuses stunt doubles in an era when everyone else uses them. The dedication is real, the results undeniable. But there is a thin, unsettling line between discipline and control, and those who have worked closely with Cruise say he walks it constantly. His marriage to Katie Holmes attracted scrutiny that never fully faded. Reports described a relationship governed less by mutual affection and more by a rigid set of rules, leaving outsiders wondering whether love or logistics was running the show. When the marriage ended, the questions only multiplied. His commitment to Scientology is not a quiet, private faith. It is a public crusade. Those who have watched him advocate for the organization have described an intensity that sits somewhere between passion and pressure, the look of a man who does not merely believe, but recruits. Even on the set of Top Gun, Maverick, a film built around the mythology of brotherhood and teamwork, Navy personnel were allegedly instructed not to approach Cruise or make direct eye contact. The irony was not lost on those who noticed it. Tom Cruise remains a box office force, but the hero he plays and the man behind the role appear to operate on very different terms. Johnny Depp, when chaos stops being charming. Johnny Depp made his name playing beautiful disasters. Pirates, outcasts, eccentrics, characters the world adored precisely because their chaos felt safe, contained inside a cinema screen. Off-screen, the chaos was neither safe nor contained. His name began appearing less in box office reports and more in legal filings, police records, and headlines that no publicist could spin. Hotel rooms were trashed, lawsuits accumulated, and public incidents multiplied in ways that exhausted even the industry's considerable tolerance for difficult talent. Behind the camera, the picture was reportedly no better. Crew members and former associates described an actor who frequently arrived unprepared, relied on earpieces rather than learning his lines, and whose presence on set felt less like a creative collaboration and more like an unpredictable weather event. Gifted, yes, but at a cost everyone else absorbed. Talent, as Depp's story illustrates with painful clarity, is not a permanent shield. Professionalism is. When ego and self-destruction fill the space that preparation should occupy, even generational talent begins to feel like a liability. Reese Witherspoon, cracks in the sweetheart. Reese Witherspoon built one of the most durable good girl brands in modern Hollywood. Southern charm, sharp intelligence, and easy laugh. She seemed less like a celebrity and more like a neighbor you genuinely liked. The brand held, until a single traffic stop threatened to unravel years of careful image management. The incident, captured and widely circulated, showed Witherspoon invoking her celebrity status with law enforcement, a move so classically entitled it practically wrote its own punchline. Hollywood winced. The internet, predictably, feasted. What might have remained an isolated embarrassment was complicated by longer-standing accounts from industry insiders, who described a star capable of being demanding, short-tempered, and quietly intimidating in professional settings. Staff allegedly learned to read the room carefully and stay out of her way on difficult days. None of this erases a genuine career or the real intelligence she has brought to her work. But it does raise an honest question. How much of the sweetness was always performance? One bad moment does not define a person. A pattern of behavior, however, begins to tell its own story. Ben Stiller, perfectionism or just hard to work with. Ben Stiller has spent decades getting laughs by playing insecure, explosive, slightly unhinged men. The joke, as it turns out, maybe closer to autobiography than anyone realized. Behind the scenes, Stiller has earned a reputation as one of the industry's more demanding presences, a man for whom the gap between his vision and everyone else's execution is a source of daily frustration. Those who have worked with him describe a director and performer who wants things done precisely his way, at the right temperature, in the right parking space, at exactly the right time. Minor deviations, according to multiple accounts, can produce outsized reactions. On the set of Tropic Thunder, a film he also directed, insiders described a level of micromanagement that wore down even seasoned crew members. There is a version of this story where perfectionism is noble, where the relentless pursuit of quality justifies discomfort. And then there is the version where a man famous for satirizing Hollywood ego is, perhaps, not entirely immune to it himself. Stiller remains genuinely funny. He is also, reportedly, genuinely exhausting to work for. Sandra Bullock, the kindness that comes with conditions. Sandra Bullock was not merely liked by the public. She was trusted. That particular quality, warmth that feels earned rather than performed, is Hollywood's rarest commodity, and Bullock carried it for years with apparent ease. Which is precisely why accounts of her off-screen behavior registered as surprising rather than scandalous. Fan encounters, when they went wrong, reportedly went quite wrong. Declining autographs is a celebrity's right. The tone in which it was allegedly done, according to some accounts, was the issue. The sweetness that felt so natural on screen did not always make the journey into real life. Her ex-husband Jesse James later described their marriage as governed by strict personal rules, though his credibility as a source invites obvious scrutiny. Other, unconnected observations pointed in a similar direction: a woman who is warm on her own terms and significantly less so when those terms are not met. The talent and the Oscar remain untouched. The image is simply more complicated than it once appeared. Jared Leto. Method acting as excuse. Jared Leto would like you to know that he suffers for his art. Deeply. Visibly. In ways that those around him are also required to suffer. His method acting practice, particularly during the production of Suicide Squad, generated stories so strange they became their own cultural moment. Castmates reportedly received unusual and unwelcome gifts in the name of character preparation, a gesture that read less like artistic commitment and more like a test of everyone else's patience. Off-set, the intensity reportedly did not dissipate. Those who encountered Leto at public events described someone easily irritated by misdirected attention, cool in interactions that fans had anticipated warmly, and prone to a simmering resentment when the room's energy was not appropriately focused on him. Cameron Diaz, the smile that clocks out. Cameron Diaz made a career out of being the most fun person in any room. Bright, loose, seemingly effortless. The kind of screen presence that made audiences feel, implausibly, like they already knew her. The warmth felt genuine, which made accounts of her real-life demeanor all the more disorienting to those who encountered it. Fans who approached Diaz for autographs or brief interactions reported being turned away with a coldness that clashed sharply with the woman they thought they knew from 2 decades of romantic comedies. Saying no is entirely reasonable. The manner in which it was allegedly delivered was not. At industry events, she was reportedly disengaged to the point of awkwardness, someone enduring the room rather than inhabiting it. None of this makes her a villain. It does, however, confirm a truth that Hollywood prefers to obscure. The warmth is in the work. Once the cameras stop, it is a professional courtesy, not a personality trait. Mike Myers, The Cost of Artistic Vision.